Welcome to On This Day in Brattleboro, Vermont's history. I'm your host, Bob Cornelier. Today's topic will be the opening of the Island Park Pavilion and Grandstand, June 29th, 1911. In 1909, George Fox and M.J. Morgan of Brattleboro formed the Island Amusement Company. The group in 1911 began construction on a grandstand and a connected pavilion. June 29, 1911, the pavilion and 1,200-seat grandstand opened. The pavilion contained a soda fountain, dance hall, balcony, boat landing, bowling alley, and penny arcade with moving pictures, pinball machines, and music. Movies are displayed on an outdoor screen. On rainy nights, they were shown indoors. Vaudeville was presented on stage. Shortly after vaudeville was instituted, Island Park suddenly became desolate one day, wrote the Vermont Phoenix. Rumor that it was haunted quickly flew about the town, and it was shunned as though infected with the bubonic plague. The rumor hinted that the baggage of a traveling vaudeville troupe, including a long wicker basket such as was used for carrying corpses. The performers sped away from their belongings, and everyone else fled to the Vermont shore until some adventurous person lifted the cover and peeked under, the newspaper said. He found that it contained only an assortment of oriental clothing, and Island Park again became habitable. The grandstand was built with 1,200 seats and a baseball field. Baseball became more and more popular, and games frequently were played on the diamond. It was an ideal field except for a cove which cut into right field, and a long drive in that direction would put the ball in the river and guarantee a home run. The local team was always well supplied with right field hitters. In 1911, the local baseball team, the Brattleboro Islanders, won the Connecticut Valley League pennant by defeating Keene, New Hampshire 2-0 in the championship game. In 1912, the island played host to a pageant and a president. The Brattleboro pageant in June celebrated the 150th anniversary of the town's settlement. After weeks of preparation, adults and the youth of Brattleboro depicted the complete history of the town, using the whole island for a stage, the foliage-covered Woontasket Mountain as a backdrop, and the river for entrances of the canoes and the Indians and settlers. The cast was composed of 700 townspeople. Those not busy acting the show came to witness it. Soon afterwards, U.S. President William Howard Taft came to the island, speaking on Monday, October 7th, for 10 minutes from a platform erected in front of the grandstand. In 1912, plans were announced by the Island Park Company to build a modern resort hotel, a 3-story building of stucco and brick to cost some $90,000 to $100,000. A dining room was to look out over a broad veranda and well-kept lawns. Also to be included were a social and reading room, barber shop, billiard and pool room, and the possibility of a swimming pool, Turkish bath and shower baths, and a roof garden. The island was used for other events as well. Theodore Roosevelt also campaigned on the island. Beauty pageant winners were featured in circus and carnivals with merry-go-rounds, and tent shows of every description often visited the island as well. Circuses such as Barnum Bailey, Sparks, Walter Main, and Hagenbeck Wallace. The circus train would arrive early in the morning at the railroad station on Vernon Road. On 2 sets of upper-level tracks sat flat cars carrying animals, performers, and canvas tents. Elephants would pull the heavy circus wagons from car to car until they reached the end of the train. After pulling the wagons to the road, the elephants were replaced by horses, which would be hitched to the carts and led to the island. Residents could get a free ticket if they would help wash and clean the elephants in the river. By noon, there would be a circus parade on Main Street. The procession would include a very snappy band, clowns, lions, and tigers, and elephants. There would be an afternoon and evening performance, and the circus would be gone by the next day. The pavilion and grandstand were built on piers that lifted the buildings higher than any previous floods had risen, but it didn't prove to be enough. The spring floods, coupled with the breaking ice, were too powerful for the island. Each year the park was damaged and needed to be repaired. In 1915, ice damage destroyed a large part of the grandstand. Plans to build the hotel were dropped. By 1918, the original owners had died, and the town of Hinsdale voted not to allow Sunday baseball. The park was purchased by the power company that owned the Vernon Dam. As other recreational areas grew around Brattleboro, the island's monopoly waned, and gradually boating, vaudeville, bowling, and movies were dropped from the program of amusements. Only the dance hall and the pavilion continued to be popular. In 1919, the Boston Braves played the Brattleboro Athletics in an exhibition game. It had been 30 years since a professional team played in Brattleboro. In 1920, a major ice flood came down the Connecticut River, and the bridge connecting Brattleboro with the island was washed away. After a few failed attempts, it took about a year before a permanent replacement bridge was completed. The inability to reach the island during the busy summer season contributed to the decline of the amusement park. In 1927, 800 people came to the pavilion to see Miss Universe, Dorothy Britton. 1927 also saw a major flood and ice out that knocked down most of Island Park, and more than half of the island was washed away. The island was no longer big enough to hold a circus. The power company demolished remaining structures and Island Park ceased to exist. In 1936, the largest flood in Brattleboro history washed away what remained of the island. In 1983, mural artist Deborah Lazar was commissioned to paint a mural of Island Park. The mural was placed on the side of the Paramount Theater building. It was removed after the Paramount fire. It is now in storage with the Brattleboro Historical Society. Few remnants of Island Park remain. Some pavilion lattice work decorates a house in Newfane. A house once located on the island was dismantled and then rebuilt on South Main Street in Brattleboro. Today, foundations and piers of the Pavilion and Grandstand can be seen on the island. I am going to end with this passage by Richard Mitchell of Hinsdale, New Hampshire. Although the island in the Connecticut River was owned by the state of New Hampshire, it was truly Brattleboro's playground. From 1911, when the Island Park Pavilion was built, until 1927, when half the land was washed away and the pavilion was torn down, it was the center of amusements for all the area towns. From farmland in former times, it flourished to see ball games at Dance Hall, where Paul Whitman once played, and the appearance of Miss America and Miss Universe. President William Howard Taft spoke on his way on vacation to the White Mountains. Circuses, boating, carnivals, movies. The Brattleboro pageant, wrestling by Brattleboro strongman Farmer Bailey, thrilled thousands who came from miles around to relax and have fun. The flood of 1936 spelled the demise of the island and left only a memory of its former glory. Few are left to remember those carefree days. Others can't believe it really happened. This is your host, Bob Cornelier. Thank you for watching this episode of This Day in Brattleboro, Vermont History. Photos and information courtesy of the Brattleboro Vermont Historical Society and newspapers.com. The Brattleboro Historical Society is located on the 3rd floor of the Municipal Building, Suite 301. Hours are Thursdays 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays 10 a.m. to 12 noon. The Brattleboro Historical Society has a Facebook page, and you can visit the website at bhs802.org.